Hey everybody, welcome to Hit Rewind. This episode we're doing a update of the Predator franchise. There's been a lot lately. John, are you surprised we've had so much so quickly?
A little bit, like announced Prey. I wasn't shocked necessarily,
Yeah, I
but
mean,
it's kind of how quick after we got two more of these films.
yeah, Disney wants to maximize everything they got from Fox, it seems. So that was like the first in their plate. We got new Alien entries. They're bringing the X-Men back, which is funny because it's actually theirs in the first place. I'm trying to think, what else have they really? There's not a whole lot of franchises that Fox had that they can. Planet of the Apes, I guess.
Yeah,
Not,
yeah, they did at least one Planet of the Apes, and I mean there've been comics. They've definitely been monetizing there's these things in the comic books so
yeah.
far. Hell, they got Godzilla back, and they've been doing as much as they can in a short amount of time,
What do you mean they got Godzilla back? Like in the comics?
like in the comics.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Godzilla's fighting the Avengers and shit.
Yeah, but they got Dan Trachtenberg, and he's just like, okay, cool, I get to do this too, and this, and this, and so yeah, we got three within a few years. Where if you look at the franchise, we got part two 3 years later, but then it was what 11 years later before we got no more than
For
that.
Predators. Yeah,
Yeah,
you go like it's a decade plus.
yeah. I think it was almost 20 years before we got Predators, and then we got the Predator. Of course, there's the two Aliens versus Predator in the middle. So that kind of helps satiate the fans. Here's the funny thing is, I've been looking at the box office breakdown. There's never been a financially successful Predator movie except I'm talking just the Predator movie, except the first one. Yet we keep getting them. It's so crazy to me.
Well, I think that's why once you had two come out and it not didn't light up the world, why it just kind of it sat there.
Yeah.
And Alien, they had enough thing to go like, you know what, let's do the Alien versus Predator movies because Alien is dead. We might as well do these just to kind of keep our license.
Right. Well,
And
that
then you
and
get
Jason versus Freddy had just come out and made a buttload of money. So
yeah, and so it's like yeah, you have these reasons, but then yeah, it's like we don't see any. It's not lighting up the world, so they pitched us an interesting idea for Predators. Okay, we'll try that.
yeah,
And then you got Shane Black wanting to do one, and at that point his career had kind of returned. So it's kind of going, oh, okay, we'll let him do it, and then that was a piece of shit.
yeah. And now, mind you, a very compromised movie from the studio editing the shit out of it and doing reshoots and stuff like that. But what I like that Disney has done for Dan Trachtenberg is just sit back and let him go. And mind you, a lot of it was, hey, we're putting these on our streaming services. There's not as much risk. The budget's not going to be anywhere nearly as high. But they proved to be so loved that they gave him a chance with the new one, Badlands, at the highest budget I've ever seen for a Predator movie, which shocked me because I thought, well, if they're going to put it in theaters, they're probably just going to make it a little bit more than Prey. Nope.
No, that's the one. I will say this, that's the one where they go out swinging that we are going to unify these two franchises, the Alien and Predator franchise. We are going to fundamentally do this so whatever we do next, we can throw whatever we want at the wall.
Yeah. And
Although, granted, it failed, so we'll
sort
see
of.
what happens.
So yeah, Prey is one of those tightly budgeted, like, and I love just like Predators. I love Predators and the first Predator. They're all very tightly budgeted. The first one I think only cost like 20 million. Uh, and you have Robert Rodriguez helping the production of Predators, so that kept, he's always been really tight with a budget. Um, but the Prey, the real lean and mean, no frills, no excess, like new plot developments where it requires all these new special effects, like giant predator. uh,
Yeah, what's funny about this is it's a period film for God's sakes.
yeah, I thought that was a really smart. Remove it from everything that really of the flow of the franchise, timeline wise. But it still captures everything that you love about the character, all the gadgets and the cool villainy stuff, but it also gives you new heroes to kind of like spend your time with and get to know them.
Yeah, and I remember how much Internet Bros really wanted this film fail because the main character's a woman.
I know.
You know, the movie is woke, or it's a symptom of DEI, or whatever bullshit they wanted to do, and then they all had to backtrack because this movie fucking rules.
It does fucking rule. Yeah, it's so well done. The action sequences are so the way he films them are unlike a lot of action movies now. They're not overly edited. They're not shaky cam. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of like visual trickery to make you think, oh, this is fast and exciting. It kind of felt a little more old school in how it wanted to approach the visuals.
Yeah, it's very much a much slower paced film. Although, in watching it this time, I seem to remember it taking a little bit longer for them to kind of reveal that it's a predator.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the in the early thing, the ship coming down, and it's they believe that it's just a sign of the Thunderbird. It's like, sure, I mean we know this is a Predator movie just from the logo, logo font.
Yeah.
But I seemed to remember the reveal happening a little bit later, not necessarily the like it kills the snake or whatever, and then you go, oh yeah, it's a Predator movie. But the reveal where he gets up and he's I think it's either stops being invisible and shows up and you see the ship fly off, or however that scene goes. But I seem to remember that happening a little bit later, because it going like, yeah, doesn't this one just kind of play like the original, where with the exception of, I mean, the blatant opening in the original Predator, it's like you don't really know that this is a sci-fi film until all of a sudden, oh, they're being watched by a dude who's fucking invisible.
Right. Because in this one they play it off as if they're being attacked by a bear. I kind of wish they hadn't told you it was a sequel to The Predator at first. Like, because when I first heard Prey, I was like, no, what is this exactly? And they're like, oh yeah, it's a prequel, so it's a Predator. I was like, man, you shouldn't have revealed that. That'd have been a good like surprise to everybody.
Yeah, as I said, it's like it would have been nice if, like, sure, maybe keep the Thunderbird thing, but yeah, just kind of you don't have the reveal that it's a Predator thing until later on. Yes, I think that would have been more interesting. But at the same time, who's going to watch a film that's partially in Comanche, a period film that's in Comanche off the bat, and then all of a sudden go like, wait, this is a what now?
Yeah, but I think, well, the thing is that it wasn't focused on box office, so it could have had that slow build on like word of mouth on the internet. I don't know. It's just me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that thought. Okay. It's just I also have to go. Yeah. There's unfortunately people won't. It'll just sit there on a person's screen. Watch this movie. No, there's no. That just looks like that looks like a Dances with Wolves clone. I don't want to watch that. I don't watch those kinds of movies.
Yeah,
that'll be a period drama.
And so, speaking of that, I remember them saying that they wanted to do more Predator movies in, before the first one, before set 1987. And I thought it'd been really cool if they had done that, if they had gone to different eras. And they kind of did with the animated. I mean, they do. Look, I was hoping for more live action, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, I think weren't they talking about like, going to the Revolutionary War or World War II and stuff like that? And they do.
I think there might have been pirates or something. Yeah, like that.
They're throwing around a bunch of ideas, and I think maybe Disney got a little apprehensive about doing a whole movie like that again. But giving him the animated film and a half hour on each air. What's that?
Yeah, Killer of Killers. Yeah.
Killer of Killers. Yeah, it's so you have Vikings, samurais, and then World War II, and then it all comes together at the end. And I just absolutely astounded. You're no longer limited by the budget. Whatever his ideas he had in his head, he can bring across. It probably way less than what he made Prey for.
Yeah, and it's like it's a badass little movie, Killer of Killers, with you have the Vikings, where it just and what's kind of fun is the Predator, like in the Prey and in Killer of Killers, is kind of a reflection of our protagonist. So you kind of have this, and especially Killers, the Shield, the Vikings are fighting a predator that's basically all just brutal strength. He's got
Yeah.
like a little hand device that he's just punching the shit out of people with. Whereas in the Japanese one, where they're like ninjas and shit, the guy is a ninja. And I'll be honest, that the sword, that's the second chapter of this, is my favorite one. I love that storyline so much.
Yeah, my favorite's the
Partially
World War
because I'm
II
a
one.
huge anime freak.
Yeah.
Actually, that's the one I found is the weakest. Not because it's badly done or anything, but it does kind of slightly circumvent everything that we had seen about the Predator culture, where it's like, yeah, they take the human bodies as trophies and stuff. This guy is a World War II fighting ace who's, I guess, taking engines or something. It's like he doesn't seem to be as trophy centric, or at least not. He's more like maybe technology,
Maybe.
obsessed. It's kind of hard to tell because he's basically just destroying the shit out of planes,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's interesting to see how someone would have to take on a far superior air power when you are in a pretty shitty World War II plane.
What is this animation style? I've been seeing this since like Spider-Verse. It looks like almost like stop motion mixed with claymations mixed with just traditional animation. It's kind of like jittery in its movements, but not off-putting.
Yeah, I don't know what anyone are referring to it as because it's stylized at this point.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, it's like the thing with these Spider Verse films was that they were designed to look very much like the comics. A lot of the cover styles and things like that, which
Hmm.
was that is a particular decision that they made on that part. This one is, I mean, it's definitely very reminiscent of a lot of contemporary anime shows that are out there. A lot of the action ones, which are using a lot of the CG to enhance how they're like a little less so of actual ink and paint these
Okay.
days. It's all digital with CG enhancement.
Yeah, it's just a very unusual style, and it could be off-putting, I think, if they did it just slightly different, but something about it really works. And just, I love the voice work. I
Well, when
love
they
the action sequences. It's a very, very fun film.
Yeah, and the fun thing about this is it does add a thing to the predator culture, which is if you kill a predator, they snatch your ass up because they want to see you fight. And in the original release, the only thing that we see is like when you have they're going over how many people they've captured over time, or how many beings they've captured over time. Let's just say, and like the only one we saw was Naru from Prey.
Okay, see, I thought that was,
And then
I've seen it before, and I thought they added the extra footage.
yeah, then they add in Dutch and Danny Glover because I don't remember what Danny Glover's character's name
Yeah,
is.
yeah, I don't remember either, sorry. Yeah, they've been talking like, and I think that Schwarzenegger knows that he's kind of getting to the end of his career, his life, I guess. Um, that he's now talking to a lot of filmmakers about, revisiting his franchises. Because we saw that Conan the Barbarian is up and running again, which they've done like 4 times now. Who knows if it'll actually get made? But yeah, he is talking in possibility of coming back to Predator. And I mean, that little cameo helps, like, satiate that need. I think they've tried before. I think they wanted him in a cameo at the end of The Predator, but he turned them down.
Yeah, yeah, because he was going to be the Predator killer in that suit that they had,
Yeah.
and then it just became, oh no, it's a suit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's not a really necessary for a plot to continue after the Predator. Like that whole thing. It's just a thing. It doesn't really like leave you hanging. Whereas I think the teaser in Killer of Killers is quite fascinating. And like, okay, you leave it open in case it doesn't happen. People aren't truly upset, but it's kind of nice that you had that.
Yeah, and if you have a Schwarzenegger Danny Glover fight in the next animated film, You can at least get someone to do their voices if they pass away at some point.
Yeah, definitely. And then Badlands, of course, is the big box office. I mean, look, on paper, it looks like a big hit. It opened bigger than any Predator movie. It made more than any Predator movie, but it also cost more by a long shot. It cost $110 million, which I believe is 30 or 40 million more than the Predator. And I don't know. I'm sure it'll make its money back because these movies always play on streaming and home video, which there's not much home video left, but and there's no video stores. But I can see that being one of those where like 5 years from now, yeah, very profitable. It just never initially it seems like they make a lot of money.
Well, unfortunately, this I will phrase it like this has tanked any future Predator things for the time being
Really?
because it didn't do as well as they wanted financially.
Okay, because
And now
said.
Trachtenberg is off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's off. He's off doing something else. I forget with whom, but I I did and did not like this one. There's stuff about this I think is really cool. I wasn't 100% certain how much until I was reading stuff about it, how much our Predator is physical versus digital.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've got good digital effects at this point, but yeah, it's what's his name, Demetrius Schuster. I'm going to fuck up his last part of his name, Kolo Matangi.
I have no idea who this is.
He plays the Predator.
Okay.
Yeah, well, he's a stuntman. He's a stuntman.
Gotcha.
And so he is basically, with the exception of like the face, it is basically him.
Oh, okay.
Doing everything.
So I told you that I tried watching this and I just found it off-putting after like 40 minutes and I just gave up. And they're like, well, let's give it another shot. So I did. This time I put down my flippin' phone and actually read the subtitles and kind of got a better gist of what was happening because I was kind of lost on what was going on. But the digital effects on his face were too jittery and off-putting. I think they overly animated them. If something about that really bothered me both times actually. But I was more into the character and his reasonings and the whole, family dynamic. This is the first time I think that you really got into what's going on in a predator's head. Yes, in a couple of them, they kind of team up with the predator, but they didn't really dive into who they are. It's just like kind of monosyllabic, one word or two words, and just honor and fighter.
They're just the ultimate hunter.
Yeah, and
and they have a code.
Yeah, but and then adding was it Elle Fanning as the cyborg, the replicant or what are you gonna call it they use in alien movies. Yeah, maybe a little bit over the top on the comedic commentary, I think. I don't know. There's some stuff that really worked. I love the little dog creature. I think they're going.
Yeah, it's like there's.
I like the fact that they're building like, okay, he doesn't have to necessarily be a part of his clan. He can build his own family, which is, good commentary on stuff, in the real world is just because you're born into a family doesn't necessarily mean if it's toxic and abusive, you don't have to try to conform yourself to that. You can go out in the world and make your own family.
Yeah, your family versus found family is always an important thing to kind of look into. And yeah, that's my biggest problem with the film is like Dakota Fanning is really good in this. Like, because she does a dual role where she's playing two different replicants or what are they called, and you got the one that is cut in half, and she's very jovial and funny, and it's kind of annoying after a while because she's too jokey.
Yeah.
And then you've got the other one that's the more self-serious business. I'm here to do a task, and this is what's going to happen. Our villain of the piece.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of connected to what he does too, is because to her, the other one is her sister, and then realizing that she's also, a user and an abuser, that she doesn't need her.
Yeah, and thinking about this, and even though I haven't seen the film, this is probably what Kraven the Hunter probably should have been.
Yeah, yes. Oh my god, Kraven sucks. Holy shit.
But yeah, but there's some there's some cool stuff. You get all the Predators fight stuff, especially in the beginning and the end, is really cool to watch. Uh, the big fight at on the planet Genna versus all the replicant army is good, with the exception of the stuff with Elle Fanning legs.
I thought that was kind of creative and funny, but yeah,
It's creative. I don't
yeah.
get me wrong, that is creative. I don't think it's good.
The I think maybe the idea of a death planet where everything on it is basically going to kill you seemed like a really good idea, but I got kind of exhausted by the non-stop fight, 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 fight. It seemed I wanted more. I mean, I guess there's not a whole cast to bounce off of, like the way it was in the first movie and the third. Um, but I don't know. I just kind of got exhausted by the whole thing. Like, could you just take a breather and not have everything keep fighting for 5 minutes, please? Anything?
Well, it's also the dynamic of this planet. How can anything really live on this?
Yeah,
It's
if
like
everything's
after a while, it's like, yeah, everything is there's no real top of the food chain. There's no way to have a stratosphere. At least we can tell of how things live survive. It's just everything in here can kill you, and the biggest monster of all is just a total regenerative creature. It doesn't matter what you do to it. It just dies. You can't die, or it's very hard to kill it.
How does it breed? How does it just multiply on its own? Does something have to get that creature pregnant? I can't imagine. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it can't die. So what advantage does it have? What need does it have to reproduce?
Right. It's like if it's gonna live for a million years, or does its heart give out? Like internal? Is it no? Because if it was internal only, yeah, because they chop off bits and pieces, so that's not it. The skin would be like cement, like steel or whatever, so you couldn't cut it. I don't know. It seems like a lot of really cool ideas, but not all of it worked for me. But it was a noble entry, I think, and at least it sparked some more interest and took it someplace new. But Prey's the better movie.
Yeah, Prey, of all the three, Prey is the best, and I am torn between whether the original Predator or Prey is the best film of the franchise,
Prey. No, I'm serious.
because
Prey.
both.
I what I do like about Predator though is it has that commentary on fucking super macho 80s bullshit. You guys don't have a
Yeah,
chance, it doesn't matter.
yeah, it's yeah. There's a lot, again. There's a lot to love with both these films. Like Prey, especially, is you have a character who's intelligent and skilled, but also does understand what her limitations are and works with them,
Yeah.
which is how she wins. It's like, because there's no way she could go and fight the Predator like Arnold Schwarzenegger could.
No, it's all
You can't.
strategy.
You can't do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's knowing your environment and knowing it better than what's hunting you. Whereas, yeah, Predator, it is the toxic masculinity, but also, yeah, at the end of it, what does Schwarzenegger have to do? Stop relying on his tools and rely on his intellect and his big old muscles.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really interesting franchise, but I'm also curious, where else are they gonna go? What else do they have? I can't, but I mean, I probably said the same thing before Prey, and it surprised me. So who knows? You get a good creative person, and they can find new angles on, what to do. I mean, they went to the Predator planet, they've gone into the past. I mean, have they gone into the future? Like, like
No,
a
no.
Blade Runner kind of future where it's like 200 years from now and they got flying ships and well, no, there'd be nothing new there though. We already have
Well,
replicants.
actually, no. They did go in the future, because that's Badlands.
Is it the future? Oh yeah, right. Okay, yes, I forgot.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, because it's Weyland Yutani cyborgs and
Yeah,
shit
yeah, duh.
with a power loader.
Yeah, I wanted to try to fit Alien Romulus in this, but then I saw there's gonna be another one within a year or so I'm gonna wait. And we'll do an update on the Alien
Well,
franchise. Oh, and
well,
Alien
here
Earth.
let's inside baseball this. You should also, if you haven't seen it, watch the Alien TV show.
Yeah, I watched the first episode, but I have not made it back.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting addition to that. But this is not an alien. This
Nope.
is not an alien podcast.
So
And there were no xenomorphs in this.
yeah,
Like,
they just
I'm a little
tangentially, yeah.
I'm a little disappointed because, yes, it doesn't need to. We don't need a huge thing for it, but I do kind of regret that Badlands didn't have a xenomorph, like a hint of a xenomorph in the plant select screen that he's going through.
Yeah.
Because, and I guess I missed this. Like, you see Earth, and you have Naru as like the representative of Earth, but it's like the digital effects are all like weird and not clear, at least not clear to me. So I had no idea what the hell he's going through until it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to this one.
Yeah, it'd be interesting instead of that planet that he went to, that if he did end up going to an alien planet and his job was to kill a queen alien. But I think I'm gonna guess as an executive, the franchise they were a little like cautious of doing another Aliens versus Predator, because the last one wasn't so well received. But I've read that that's something that they're tempted to do, that they want to do another Aliens versus Predator movie. And I don't know, maybe they can do something new. I didn't think they could do anything new with the Planet of the Apes franchise, but look, they had 4 more movies and they're all pretty entertaining. So
Yeah, let's. Like I said, I would hope for something that's closer to the comic, the original comic, because
yeah,
that would be an interesting take.
all right, everybody. So that is the end of this episode. Thank you, John,
Thank you.
and thank you everybody for listening. Have a good one.